Hi everyone, JJIR here, and in this video we're going to see a little bit about the new option for rubrics in Google Classroom. This option is in beta mode right now, so if you want to be able to use it, then you're going to have to open up this form here and fill it out so that your domain or school can have access to it. This I'll leave in the description below the video. But it's going to be important to do this first because otherwise you won't find it. So presupposing you've already filled out this form and then you have it active on your domain, which you should be able to know that it's active because Google will send an email about that, hopefully. So when that's done, then you can jump in here and you can start playing around with it. So the good thing here is that you can add rubrics to assignments you've already created. So you don't have to create new ones. You can also add them to ones you already have. So for example, here, if I go to classwork and then under the assignments, go to the three dots here and then click on edit, that will bring up the possibility of adding the rubrics, which are precisely here now. The originality reports, will you do that in another video? For now, we'll just do create rubrics. So you can do it here on something that's already existing, or as you can see here, you can go create assignment. And you can see it's grayed out here until we add something. So you have to put something down there. And then sometimes it takes a couple seconds for this to activate, but then this will come out and you can start using it. So we'll just add it to one that's already existing. Delete that guy and just go into this guy. Click on edit here. And then we're going to click on rubric. And then here you have a classical rubric setup. We're just going to add a little bit of information here so we have something to use so we can play around with this. Here below, you have here above rather, we have the possibility of adding something. So what I found out is that you can actually use this even if you don't have anything attached to the assignment. So for example, I might want to use this for oral productions or rhetoric or something like that where kids are speaking in front of me and I have to grade that. So here what we can do is if I was doing something with rhetoric or oral productions or something like that, we can put, for example, volume here as a criteria. And then down below, we can add a few things here. We can just say level 1 here and then description. So we can pop something like this in here and we have that all ready to go. So you can add one to either side like I mentioned before. If I add one here, it's going to complain if I don't put something here. So if I put 2 or whatever, the only possibility you have here is to delete it. So there's no way of grabbing it and moving it. And there's no way of duplicating these areas either. So just keep that in mind that you're going to have to manually do this until Google decides to add a few more options here of duplicating and moving. So for now, we don't want it here. We actually want it on this side. So we can go here and then put that here as 2, level 2, and then grab this guy and the text here, put it over here, and we'll put level 2. And then we'll put here okay, for example. And what we're going to do is we're going to put level up to 5 here. So we have something to deal with. And I'll do that real quick and then come back so we can play around with this a little bit more. So I've added a few more in here. As you can see, we're up to 5. So we have 1 to 5 here. And then as you can see up here, we have the possibility of doing descending or ascending. And what that will do is we'll switch these things around so it's easier for you to see what you have. So it doesn't make any difference what you have here, but as long as the students and you both know exactly how this is going to work, then you're set to go. And then down below, we have duplicate criterion. We can duplicate this guy just for the sake of video, and then put, for example, here style, for example, and then we can put another one down and we can keep on going. So you get the idea. So you can, after you finish off your first one, just duplicate it and then you can add a few more here. And then as you can see here, you have a maximum of 5 points. Up here we have add criterion description. If you want to add that, you have a criterion description here. This is for, and then you start adding whatever you want to explain here in regards to this. My suggestion is for both you and the students, because the students will be able to see this. The idea here is that you put something that's detailed so the students understand exactly how this is being graded when you're using it. So the same thing down here, you can add a criterion description and then put the same thing. This is for, and then make sure this is detailed so that the students know. So you have everything set up here. You have your total points, which is 10. Up here, you have the possibility of deleting this whole thing. So we don't want that right now. Like I said before, getting rid of the scoring if you don't want that. But there's really not much there's not much else you can do here. You can add another criterion or duplicate this one. But for now, we're just going to leave it like this, and we're going to click on save. So once that's saved, that is added here. It tells you how many points there are. You have the 2 criterion, all that type of stuff is ready to go. And then you just click on save and you're ready to go. So now if I click on this guy, he's going to pop up and he's going to give me this. There's nothing here for anything to do. You can edit it here and go back to editing, or you can delete it from this. But there's not going to be much you can do here from this point. So now we have to go into view assignments. And under these guys, what you're going to do is you're going to click on the students, and you actually have something here that you can do. So you can have 1 point here and then 2 points here. But as you can see here, this is only giving you, again, a description of the rubric. You can't do anything here. So you have to go here and say grade rubric at this bottom here. We're going to click on that guy. And this is going to open up a new page. And as you can see, Google is waiting for a document here, which is pretty interesting. But it makes no difference. You don't have to have anything here. It doesn't affect anything. You just go here and start grading these guys. So I can put volume. Wow, this person was really high on that. But the style was pretty poor. So you have your 5.5 and the 3.5, and then you're done. There's nothing else. And you can return here. Or as you know, this will be saved here, and it will tell the person more or less what you got here. So it makes no difference how you want to do it, but you can return it here. Okay, let's return that so the person knows. But again, you don't need anything here, and like as if it was a document, you can switch students and whatnot here, and first name, last name, and status here, and do the same thing. So you have your rubric all set up and ready to go for you when you're starting to grade. And as you can see here, this synchronized as soon as I clicked on return, and you have these two here, which allow the student to understand exactly what they got in relationship to that. And as you can see here, there's actually a point system that's already set up. It says 8 out of 10, so that grade is there, and everything's ready to go. Then down here, if you click on these arrows here, it'll expand, and the student, and you can see exactly what you put here. So very important to keep in mind that the rubric does not affect the grade. So you're going to have to go in here and change the grade if you want the grade to reflect the rubric. So the rubric can become a part of the grade, but it's not going to take the place of the grade. So after you have the rubrics, unfortunately, if you're basing the rubric as being the entire grade, that's not going to work here in this case. You're going to have to manually modify it. So up here, for example, sorry, wrong thing. If we go in here, we're going to see that this did not grab directly the grade here. So you would have to change this, change total points, and then put the 8. So you'd have to modify this to reflect the rubric. But no, unfortunately, it doesn't grab what the rubric does here. So after you do the rubric, you're going to have to manually put in the grade here in the end to reflect the rubric. So hopefully Google will allow or give us an option in the future in which this will automatically be grabbed as the grade, and you don't have to put in things twice. So if we go back here, and we can do that for each student that we have here, to do it in the same process to grade the rubrics so that they have some idea of what they got from their oral production or whatever else you want to use it for. Okay, so now if we go into the student view of this, let's go over here, and we see that the student has its grade, they have their grade here, and then down below they have their rubric here. So if the student went into classwork and then test 4 and saw the assignment, this is exactly what they have. So they can see immediately within their assignment what they got on the rubric, and that could end up being, like I mentioned before, different than the final grade. So the rubric is definitely just a part of something in regards to the full grade that the students can get. So just keep that in mind. But it comes out basically the same as what the professor sees. There's really no difference here between the student and the professor in regards to what they see. So it's basically exactly the same. So we're going to leave it like that. I hope this video helped. If you liked it, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you have any comments or questions about this, please leave it under the video in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to take a look at it and make further videos if necessary. Thanks a bunch. Take care.